Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to break down a Kaisa game with one of the weakest lane supports you can possibly ask for, in this instant, Sona. Not only this, Kaisa is also a very weak laning champion. She has very inferior range and is very much dependent on the enemy AD carry to step outside of minion waves to be punished by the isolated Kaisa Q and generally her damage. If that doesn't happen, nothing... there's nothing you can do during lane. Yes, the build video comes out in 2 hours, I think. In 2 hours. So make sure when it drops, watch the video, and if you watch it on PC, open up the tab. I'll show you. Okay, here, I'll show you. If you open up this video, you can just mute the site here, and then you can just let it play in the background, because then it will give me the full view time, which will then boost the video and push it to more people. Okay, back to the lovely game. Okay, laning-wise, these two will brutally stomp Kaisa and Sona. And my cat is meowing. Hello. Layla. Come here. Layla. Come. My cat wants attention. Hop. Okay, so Jinx has superior range compared to Kaisa and overall away by the laning phase due to a superior range and wave play during the early stages of the game. Thresh has so much more pressure than Sona. So much more. What are the good things we have going for us? Number one, she has Kraken, which is not very good for her in comparison to Lethal Tempo, in my opinion. The next thing, which is very, very quote-unquote good for us, is that she has Ghost. So with all of this in mind, it's still winnable if the enemy makes a mistake. So what is not supposed to happen? Getting hooked equates into death. We will be locked down. Hook, flay, chompers, death. What does it mean for our Sona? We basically have to let her die if she trolls. We have to, because if she dies, she will let the Jinx get excited and then the Jinx will run us down. That is not supposed to happen. We are not allowed to die. So, what is the goal for our game here? We get, hopefully, towards 3 items, and then we carry. That is the goal. If we are fortunate and the enemy makes a mistake or makes mistakes, we can kill them during the laning phase. If we don't, well. Now, let's get into it. Okay. He's using tablet. Okay. One of the things that's very important against Thresh, usually it's control of this brush here. You do not want him to walk in here and just get free control because it will make your lane miserable. So usually what you do is you walk into this brush at the very pixel here, so you see early enough when they walk in here, because then you're safe. Chronix is using an iPad Pro, he's using what I'm using. iPad Pro... I think it's a 12.9 from 2019 or 2020. I don't know. You could make the argument that maybe he went for Kraken to have more lane dominance, but he's already winning lane. So there's not really a point for that, right? Because the enemy can't win. So yeah, during this laning phase, we'll probably see just a tiny bit of poke damage. You see, Sona is not playing the game. She could walk up and use her first ability to deal damage, but she chooses to not even engage into anything, which is fine. But it's just very important to understand what is going on. The thing is, they have a cannon for a big, for a fast engage. So frontline is not really that necessary. As you see, like, the enemy isn't really pressuring them, which is just a player skill issue. Like, do you see how both sides are basically not playing the game? Like, Chronix can't do it to champion, and Disona walks up randomly, and the Fresh doesn't punish her. While he's trying to stay away as much as possible to only go for free damage on enemy champions. Gets a hook here, big damage on him, has to just be respectful again, gets ignited, walks it off. And Sona is a very, very, very weak champion in the early game. And the enemy is not taking advantage of this at all. In any way. Like, Kaisa is a champion that is fine with nothing happening in your lane. Because Kaisa is a champion that wants to scale. Like, your very first spike is your very first item when you get your first abilities evolve. That is one of the arguably biggest spikes for Kaisa, where she can instantly one-tap waves, and if you get stuck in an isolated 1v1, she will blow you up. And it's very, very important to keep in mind. And he's going for the Dustblade build. Side info, there was a very nice Twitch user which made me aware of something very, very important. If you have a Sense Reaver, yeah? A Sense Reaver in the description says it deals physical damage, but that's not true. A Sense Reaver deals damage based on what you have more, AD or AP. If you are having 200 AP and 180, it will deal magical damage. So, for Kaisa, you can rush a Sense Reaver, even Gluttonous Grease, and then transition into AP, and the moment you have more AP than AD, your Sense Reaver bonus damage on your second ability, first ability, will deal magical damage, which is far more powerful than it dealing physical damage, because the enemy has a lot less magic resist than armor. Yes, if you play against Sona, you kill her on cooldown, because the champion cannot really defend herself. You pick any hardcore engaged champion, and you just yeet, you just go. Oh yeah, and if you play... Oh, there's a Pantheon, hello good sir. If you play against Crown of the Shattered Queen users, and you're, for example, a Morgana, just buy... he made a mistake, he should have waited until the anti-healing wore off before he picks up the fruit. If the enemy has a Crown, you can go for the Trident on Morgana and break the enemy. Oh, what a beautiful engage. That's one of the things Sona can at least do now compared to before. She has a way higher range of engage. Very good play, and the enemy just got instantly blown up. It's not in the item description. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. I mean, Runans doesn't tell you that it increases your auto-attack range, does it? Yeah. But the thing is, Ian, you see, this is also one of the reasons why Sona's win rate is so high. It's a it's a champion that doesn't have responsibility, and a scaling champion at the same time. And if people are not good enough to punish you, then you get away by scaling, and once you've scaled, you'll take over the game, eventually. Very good reading the situation, even going low HP, just instantly going in when the Darius makes an appearance, just making sure to just kill the people. Pantheon flashes in, but it isn't enough. And that's a free Dragon and free Herald at the same time. Everything is just free. Hello, welcome back from dinner. I hope it was nice. I don't think you missed much. Just a little bit of ranting, a little bit of gaming, a little bit of explaining. A Sense Reaver. None of the both options you just mentioned. I prefer a Sense Reaver. I prefer a Sense Reaver and Lethal Tempo. I don't have any info about India, I'm sorry. I know nothing. I also don't know anything about console release or anything. I have legit no clue. I have zero information. Oh yeah, and don't mess up and accidentally rush boots on Kaisa, right? That's one of the things that are rather sad if they happen. When do we swap lanes with the mid laner as an AD carry? You do so when the enemy mid laner's wave clear is very bad and you can just take the tower for free. Kaisa buys boots after the first item. Like, it's so crazy how these fights are even remotely close, even though Sona doesn't even have an item. Hello. The best counter for Syndra? I don't know yet because I don't know her numbers. I don't know what she'll be able to do in the sense of numbers, so I assume Jace will be an issue early game. But yeah, now we've reached a point where we can basically poke the enemy every single time with Q, and if the enemy makes some mistakes, we just get a kill for free. Like, you see, he gets so much free damage onto the Jinx every single time, as if they're not even playing. So basically, AD Kaisa is dead. No. But it's easier to play AP Kaisa. Because think about this. One build requires you to go close, yeah? And the other build allows you to deal more damage from a big distance. So one has significantly more risk compared to payoff, whereas the other build has way easier way of playing the game because of superior range and more damage through that superior range and not being denied by armor so much. Yeah, going back to the question before, like, as an AD carry, if you kill your tower, like when platings were off, you ideally go to the lane that you can influence the easiest in a way of taking down the tower. Beautiful to get not rooted there and just goes in there. You're welcome. I think I'll also turn, like, I'll start doing more things on stream, so I'll turn them into videos afterwards, because obviously not everyone is watching a stream and not everyone has enough time to watch through like 2 hours of stream. I mean, I will not deny that just running down side lane is a great way of climbing. Is he dead? Yep. Zara is a wonderful champion. Yes, Syndra will be able to be played as an APC. Very easily. If this is, yeah, it is viable. But honestly speaking, like, if you have a Lulu support, I think you should rather go for like a Sense Reaver, no? Because if you have the attack speed steroid from the Lulu plus lethal tempo, it's more likely for you to crit a few times due to how many times you attack, then you'll just outvalue. Like, this Kaisa build with the Dustblade Rush is a very snowbally build that is very powerful on one item, but is outperformed. Like, the more items you gain on this build compared to, for example, the Ascent Reaver build or the Manamune build, it's weaker in direct comparison. Yeah, Zara is one of the most annoying champions. Like, Zara makes Ezreal literally unplayable. Is Kaisa... Kaisa can carry solo, yes, but you need to reach items. You basically play for free item spike. His Elgato died. That's not me. It's not me. I'm innocent. Yeah, okay. Let me take a quick break. Explaining the Essence Reaver. Ear adaptive damage. Item says it deals physical bonus damage on spells every 4 seconds. It scales from 20% to 30%. So item alone is 22.5% damage increase. Okay, nice. What happens though? If you are an AD champion that buys AD, ER will deal fizz damage. If you are an AD champ that buys AP, ER will deal magical damage on spells. I can show you. Hold up. I have tweeted about this. Give me one moment. I shall show you. Where is it? Hello. Give me 1 second. Okay. Here. Okay. You see? I'm Kaisa. It's physical damage. It's my Q. Right? It's with the Sense Reaver. Now, on the next screen, wait, there's magical damage. This is also just my Q. So, the moment you have AP greater AD value, ER will deal magical damage. If you have AD AP, more than AP, sorry, ER will deal fizz damage. That's it. I mean, you're currently seeing an AD carry in this VOD that is playing solo queue, and he played all until Sovereign. We talked about Essence Reaver being adaptive damage instead of physical damage. You're welcome. And now with the downtime, he goes for jungle camps. Yes, Nash's Tooth is an adaptive item. Yes, the stats on the item are adaptive. The damage the item deals, the on it, is always magical. But it scales with AD and AP. With Essence Reaver, it's different. The item is purely AD. In the description, it says it deals physical damage, but it deals adaptive damage. So yeah, it's a little bit of a scam. So now, as you see, with the downtime being an AD carry, he is just farming. He's getting more and more gold, turning into AP, making sure he has impact. And I'm getting invaded by Rengar again. Layla, come. So now his second ability is basically in lovely nuke already. He tapped that guy, goes in for a quick kill, flashes after, goes for more, avoids the hook, goes for a triple kill, is aware of the complete surroundings, and is now hunting down the Jinx. I think you'll have an easier way with AP to have impact. I don't know if it's really a bug. I think it's probably intended. Ah, hello cat. Come here. Okay, we have another spectator now, which is my cat on my lap. But you see, it's just generally about your positioning as an AD carry. Like, he will get as much gold as possible because he needs as much gold as possible to have an impact in the game. And then it's all about free items. Free items are the magical PowerPoint for Kaisa. Yep, depending on what stat you have more, AD or AP, you will deal physical or magical damage with the Essence Reaver passive. Runan's worth on AP Kaisa? It depends if you're in a game where you ult into backline. Because it really depends on how many auto attacks you will get off, right? Because if you don't auto attack a lot because you're not allowed to attack a lot, then Runans will have not much value. Yeah, the cat is dangerous right now. And I already fed the cat, what do you mean? And he is arguably one of the biggest spikes now with Rabadon's death cap. Because Rabadon's will increase his AP count by so much that all the effects he has from Nashor's, like the bonus on-it magic damage, will really come in crazy now. And his second ability's bonus damage as well as his passive will deal so much damage. Like, if he attacks anyone with his second ability, you will see a big number. Like, you see? And just instantly goes in for the kill and instantly kills. Because Kaisa is, technically speaking, not really an AD carry. She's more like an assassin. And it's all about using this range to the advantage and then finding impact. Because your champion is not necessarily an auto-attack based carry. Because being an auto-attack range on such a short range carry is very, very dangerous. Obviously, if you get presented situations in which you're allowed to do this, like you see the damage he just did with 1W, and it's not even a Sense Reaver buffed up. He will melt people. But he has to get very close, and that is a very, very big risk. Did you just see the quick damage? He just popped that guy. Yeah, Kaisa jungle was really toxic because you got to free scale and dealt so much damage. Let's just finish this for a second and I'll answer your question. Like, the Zara damage is so high. He will die, by the way. It's so crazy. Now we can talk about this for a second. His team will end, right? 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 His team will end. Yeah, Zara just clapped him. What do you want, you cute cat, huh? She just threw a paw into my face. It's officially over. Okay. Do I have the damage chart here as well in the recording? Let's find out. Nah, I don't. Okay.